I have let my colleagues know and the city manager know that I intend to comment tonight as an FYI on political violence and civil discourse. So I've prepared some thoughts that I'd like to share with the public today. As we know, recent political violence has shocked the nation. During the moment of silence, I thought of the state legislators who were shot in their homes in a nearby state of Minnesota. Pundits say that this event should be a wake-up call about the tone of political discourse and the threats faced by elected officials. And my wondering out loud is, are we reacting to the wake-up call? Or are we just going to push the snooze button and say, that doesn't happen here. That's something that we don't have to worry about. I believe we need to wake up because it is happening right here in Bozeman. When I joined the commission almost 8 years ago, it was a bit of a different world. We had our flashpoints for sure, but generally speaking, differing opinions were just that. Generally, the dialogue was respectful. Today is a new dynamic. If an elected official disagrees with you, they are a bad person who needs to be stopped and needs to be run out of town. If they read the law and the statutes and the long-range plans different than you do, they must have nefarious motives. Therefore, you have permission to assail their character, dehumanize them, and demonize them. That's a form of political violence. This behavior has become normalized and accepted, and no one is speaking up. This behavior can even come from people who used to occupy these seats or those who strive to occupy these seats in the future, people who should know better or may learn better. We see it every day in social media, which I call Bozeman's meanest neighborhood. It's not a place for sharing ideas or debating issues anymore. It's mean-spirited insults, it's name-calling, it's a place where dissenting voices are bullied into silence, it's where the loudest voices rule, brutish behavior is normalized, and no one is speaking up. On websites and Facebook pages, we've seen city staff members depicted in communist military outfits. We've seen our citizen advisory board volunteers mocked and called names, and no one is speaking up. In a recent social media post about me, people were urged to go old school Montana on me, run me out of town, a town that I've served for 26 years in various capacities, show up in force at my house, and it's all been normalized. We see bullying behaviors toward elected officials in coffee shops and on the streets, and no one is speaking up. Commission meetings have been shut down by orchestrated spectacles, forcing us to vacate the commission room and wait in hallways until the room was deemed safe to re-enter. And this behavior has been normalized. Where does all this lead? What happens when civil discourse is overtaken by insults, demonization, and character assassination? I'm here to tell you, it's resulted in threats on the lives of public officials, including me. It's given a permission slip to bullies and those with mental illness to target elected officials. In the early morning hours this past Sunday, as a manhunt was underway for a political assassin, I received a threat that frightened my family and resulted in police intervention. The threat came from a person who has made several threats against me in the past, deemed to be worthy of police intervention. And that's just the latest example of threats received by me and members of this commission. This is now a somewhat common occurrence right here in Bozeman. So the question is this what things have come to in Bozeman, Montana? That if you step up to serve your community, your family, and your reputation, will pay the price for that service. I'm aware of several dedicated community members who are considering running for or putting their name in for elected office or appointed office, and they said it wasn't worth it. They didn't want to subject their families to the level of vitriol that is now commonplace in Bozeman, and I can't say that I blame them. What's the solution? We need to lower the temperature. We need to resist the temptation to fall into behaviors that divide us, pull us apart, and pit citizens against citizens to score some cheap victory on social media. We have to stop normalizing bullying behavior, character assassination. We need to realize that public officials are human beings trying to make a difference in our community. And if everyday citizens don't speak up, we yield the ground to the loudest voices, brutish behavior that we see on social media. I love this community, and I would like to see us return to more civil discourse. My understanding, Deputy Mayor, is you have some thoughts on this subject too?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I had really gone back and forth on whether I wanted to say anything at all. In large part because I think young people especially have felt that this is the only way the world will be. I remember similar rhetoric of this is a wake-up call. We are going to fundamentally change as a nation after Sandy Hook. I was a sophomore in high school during Sandy Hook. We are now 168 days into 2025 and have had 193 mass shootings. They are often political. They are often targeted at specific gathering places. They are specifically targeting churches, nightclubs, gatherings, block parties, things like that. And so I sat in this feeling of what's even the point of saying something, while balancing that in some ways the position that I occupy is where sometimes people expect me to say something. And at the very least, wanted to reiterate some of the pieces that the mayor just expressed as well, of that just this last weekend, this was a political assassination that we experienced in this country. And the speed with which we see someone be killed under obvious political violence to try to figure out whose side should we be mad at or defend it. It's immediate. It's within hours of any of these incidents anymore. There's an immediate, it must be on the side that's not me. It must be the letter that's not my letter. Immediate. And consequently, all we do is we kick the can down the road towards real cultural change in our country, in our community, in our states, et cetera. And it often does stem from, and this is something I've talked about from this position numerous times, of we've moved well beyond we disagree to you must actually hate this place because we disagree. I see it on Nextdoor. I watch as people step out of line of an opinion that they were celebrated for the previous week and now condemned and told they need to leave. Just to note, for an item that we have on the agenda tonight, someone submitted a public comment that said, you vote the wrong way, shame on you and may you be pushed out of this valley. For a vote that we are making tonight, we got that type of rhetoric. And I think we've sat in a moment, in a position of paralysis of how do we react to that? We want to be able to say, anybody can step up to that podium and share their concerns, share their thoughts, write into us, and let us know what you think about a decision. And so it's this balance of how do we continue free speech and allowing everybody to give their opinions, and also we have to name that this is happening, right? I think there's sometimes, I will say personally, I'm 1 degree of separation from Melissa Hortman. A friend and mentor of mine was a friend and mentor of Melissa Hortman's. 1 degree of separation from someone who was killed by political violence. That means anybody who's close to me is only 2 degrees of separation from this type of incident happening. And we have watched as hate has been emboldened, has sped up, has increased in severity and consistency in our own community, such that I've seen a prominent business owner say, the commission are worthless parasites. Where do we go? Like, what's the middle that we find as our rhetoric has gotten there? How do we get past that? How do we heal as a community from that? And whenever I read anything about it over and over and over, experts, data analysts that are watching these trends of political violence say it needs to come from elected officials that are showing that, hey, we can engage in discourse and disagree with each other, and it doesn't have to become hateful, conspiratorial, and dehumanizing. But there's only so much that we have authority and power over. We are not the arbiters of the entire community's discourse. And so I think I just want to at least acknowledge that this is happening in our community. And the next time you see it, the next time any of us sees it, to at least take a moment and think, what actually is underneath this? What is this further emboldening? Because what we have landed on is a world where you can so quickly create any sort of social media platform, account, anything. You could hop on Nextdoor today and you could get a following just by attacking local government. Immediately, you could get stature. That's a pretty horrifying place that we have ended up as a community. I continue to do this and lead this community and step up into this role because I have to hope and believe that that's not permanent. Because if it is, I have no idea how I can continue going home to my partner and my family and my friends and saying, I'm going to keep subjecting us to this lifestyle. I have to believe that we can move into a different world, that I have to believe that that is possible. And yeah, it's just, as someone who's under the age of 30, it has felt that this is what I inherited as a teenager, that it is hard sometimes to even imagine a different political climate as possible. But I have to hope that we can get there.
Any additional FYI comments from Commissioner Booty?
Thank you, Mayor, and I just want to appreciate the comments of yourself and the Deputy Mayor. And I, on the vein of tolerance for others, just want to note that our Pride Progress flag has been taken down from our flagpole for 25 consecutive days now, after flying for more than 3 years. This is a flag that celebrates our differences, no matter our race, gender, or sexuality. And we have received a list of 4 options from our city attorney with varying levels of legal robustness. We could declare the pride flag a historic flag. We can declare the pride flag an official flag of another local government, Missoula, and display it as such. We could adopt the pride flag as the official flag of the city of Bozeman in addition to our current flag. Or we can adopt a new city flag, which could be the Pride Progress flag with the city seal on top of it. And I just encourage my colleagues to read that email from our city attorney and join me in directing our city manager to place it on the agenda at our earliest opportunity so we can discuss those 4 options and come to a conclusion. Thank you.
Any additional FYI? Yes, Commissioner Fisher.
I want to thank both the mayor and the deputy mayor for those comments. These events did hit hard in my household. You brought up Sandy Hook, and I want to. This was a constant thought when I was on the school board. I spent 8 years on the school board, and the violence against our schools is, I think, part and parcel with this. And I would like to find some meaningful way to turn this tide. I mean, when I joined the school board in 2015, you could walk into any elementary school and be just in the school. And when I left in 2023. We had armored every single elementary school in this district with double locks and various other safety measures. And it was just kind of, we lost something. It was just kind of sad to just that we now lock our kids up in the schools because of violence. And I know that's it's sad that we also have to have we have public safety officers at at our meetings here and at the school board meetings, in part because public discourse has deteriorated such. And I would love to work with you, Mayor Cunningham, and Deputy Mayor Morrison to have to change that needle somehow. Thank you.